What is going on, everybody? It is your boys, the Homie Trinity. I'm E. Tonight I'm joined by my boy Ren, as always, for our comic preview, man. We're going to go ahead and tell you guys what we're reading, kind of talk about what's happened in the previous issues, and then we will go from there. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it, man. And the first one that we're going to jump into, man, is one that you and I both have really kind of surprisingly enjoyed, man. Like it came out of nowhere. It's one of those ones where, like, when I was initially looking at it and I told you about it, it was just because of a cover. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And the first one we're going to talk about, man, is Quested, number 6. That is very reminiscent of what they've done with these other covers, man. They're kind of really jumping back and forth on like that video game stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's really what drew you and I into this specific comic. And the joint ain't that bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jinx is an ass, which, pretty much goes right with RMO. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he's always trying to swindle somebody. One of the villains, Frogger, that he had actually had beef with and did battle with in the very beginning of the series, he kind of makes his return. And Jinx and his crew wind up, getting ready to go down into this dungeon to go battle the ferryman. You know what I'm saying? And like every single issue, man, like hijinks just happen. You know what I'm saying? So I've been digging it, man. This one right here, number 6. This is the end of that first story arc. So I'm kind of interested to see where they'll go with it down the line. But this has been probably in 2023, man. I can honestly tell you, man, this has probably been the biggest surprise for me out of everything that I've actually picked up that was new. So I'm enjoying it, man. I'm looking forward to this one, man, and kind of see where the story is gonna lead us. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, Definitely, I'm gonna give you your props because I didn't see this coming at all. Wasn't looking for it. Didn't add it to the list. Thankfully, you know enough about me to be like, yo, it's a Zelda cover. Let me share with my boy. And, and had you not told me that, I probably still would not know how good this story is. Because when you showed it to me, it was immediate. Like, I gotta get that cover. And then the second one was equally like, wow, I gotta get that cover too. And then I started reading them. I was like, yo, like aside from the covers, like this story is really cool, very reminiscent of, I hate fairyland type of stuff. It has that kind of
Mhm.
vibe. It's not the same, but it has that kind of vibe. The artwork's kind of like not really this too like out there
It's
like that, but it's
simplistic.
it's simple, bro. Exactly. It's simple. And I like that. I dig that. It's a comic, and it feels like a comic. So that dude Jinx, I like his personality, man. Like he's just trying to get over, do his thing, and if you in his way, he gonna let you know. And but the covers, man, like for me, it's a big plus because I'm a huge Nintendo guy, I'm a huge Zelda guy, and they managed to put these on covers. So if nothing else, these covers all might get graded just so I have them on the wall somewhere.
On the wall.
Yeah, and then I'll get a trade to just go back and reread the story. But very fun, man. I enjoy it a lot. So it was a good pick on your part.
Yeah, and like I said, it was just one of those things, man, where when I go through and look at like comics that are coming out, like the first thing that I do is to see if there's any sort of covers that drop. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Last week there was a new comic that dropped called Something Epic, and they
Mhm.
had
I saw that.
Eminem. They had an Eminem cover and they had a Terminator cover that were pretty dope.
Did you get it?
Yeah, yeah. The story was actually halfway decent. You know what I'm saying? But I
I
bought
didn't get it, man. Like I
I
was reading
essentially bought it for the cover. I didn't buy it with the intention of reading it, but if I pick up a number one, whether it's for a cover or not, I read it just to see whether or not. And the
yeah.
story was, like I said, it was a good jump off. You know what I'm saying? But I started looking at all the other covers for the joints, man. And I was just like, well, shit, I might as well go ahead and read it because the covers that are getting ready to come out, man, like there's a Back to the Future joint dropping, there's
I
a
saw
Star
that one.
Wars joint dropping. I mean, it's like it's crazy, man. But they got me, with this
Mhm.
specific one, though. Like I said, with everything that went on in that first issue, I was like, yo, dude's shady. He's
Mhm.
not afraid to tell people, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jinx just basically comes out, man. He's like, yo, I'm the dude, you know what I'm saying? And then he goes back and he's like, all right, we need to figure out what role are you gonna play? What role are you
Mhm.
gonna play? This is what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So it's been dope, man. Like I said, I had zero intention of picking up anything other than the covers for this particular book, and it's been surprisingly good. You know what I'm saying, to say the least. So, good
Yeah, I'm
job
not
on
doing that.
Whatnot, man.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing
I
that.
know. I know
I'm
you're
just
not.
saying, like, if I'm gonna like, definitely if I'm getting a series and I like the covers, absolutely I'm gonna get it. But just to buy covers, like, more props to you. Like, I got other stuff to buy, bourbon and tobacco and other things. So I just have to live vicariously through your collection. You never know, man. I still got to get started on those stupid hip hop covers, but I want to get those graded. So that's just gonna have to be one of
Yeah,
those
that's
things
a
where I have money, because I'm not trying to search around for near mint copies and have to ask a bunch of questions. I'm just gonna Google, put whatever 9.8, and if it's there and I got the lid, I'm grabbing it.
yeah, and that's with those specific covers, man, and that's an episode in and of
Yeah,
itself.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But with those specific covers, man, you're absolutely right. Like going and buying them raw and then hoping for the best, you're better off just dropping the bills to go ahead and actually pick them up. You know what I'm saying? Most of them are actually the hip hop covers. Most of them are actually decently priced. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not trying to hit you in the head, but every now and then you come across one that has, like the first appearance of this person, or you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
something happens in that specific issue which causes the price of that cover to go up. So like the Nas joint, man,
Oh,
from
don't even
Miles.
get me started. That's the first one that caught my attention, period. Like, that's the one I showed you from the rip, and
Yep.
that's $500 easy graded,
Yeah.
and I just don't have that.
Yeah, at this point, like I said, trying to hunt those things down raw, by the time you get all the daggone books that you want, you could have bought graded copies of some of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how
So
I'm gonna do it. I know that's how I'm gonna do it, so I'm just kind of waiting until stuff dies down where I'm not like got a bunch of subs.
right.
I was like, just put a little money here and there and just grab one. And the Nas one to be the first one for sure, definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, so moving into the next one, this is a book that I am reading that Renee is not, and I've been on Nightwing for a good minute now. Um, to be honest with you, man, like if you go back and watch some of the shows that we've done previously, um, I've been very, very high on this comic. You know what I'm saying? And the last couple of issues has just kind of, I don't know if they're like filler issues because maybe there's like a change of guard coming or something like that. Um, Nightwing is in Bloodhaven. He's doing his own thing over there. He's got his own set of enemies. He doesn't go back to Gotham. He's been invited back to Gotham on a couple of different occasions. The Titans are kind of coming back together, man, here in the last few issues. Like in the last issue, um, it was Raven, Cyborg, um, Nightwing, and Beast Boy. They go down to the underworld because one of Nightwing's enemies, a dude named Blockbuster, struck a deal with somebody in the underworld for his daughter's soul or something like that. And they saved Olivia, that's his daughter's name, and they are trying to go down there and negotiate some sort of a deal, or to try and find a loophole, you know what I'm saying, in the contract. And like I said, I mean, the artwork has been pretty decent, man. This last issue, not so much. Um, it's like when they brought in the Titans, they decided, you know what, man, let's try and take this thing all the way out to left field when they had been playing perfectly fine in just what they were doing with him and basically keeping up with Bloodhaven. So I'm interested to see kind of if they're going to take this and just kind of like this is just sort of a detour and they're going to bring it back on track, man. But um, was not feeling the last issue really at all. Um, it just, I don't know, man. Like it was kind of disappointing. Now, I will tell you, not 104, but 105, they are doing something similar to what they had did. So that one continuous issue, you know what I'm saying, where it was literally every single page just kind of interacted with the other one. The next issue, Nightwing 105, is actually going to be completely and totally drawn from Nightwing's point of view. So you will not see Nightwing at all unless he looks into a mirror.
Mhm.
So that one's already kind of drawing
It's pretty cool.
the attention of some people. So, and it's something I've never seen done before. I mean, it very well could have been done previously, but like I said, the last story, man, you bring it in the Titans, dude, and I was like, all right, cool. What are you going to do with this? And then your answer to that question is, I got an idea. Let's take them all to hell. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't know about DC, man. Like, aside from Batman, I really don't know about DC.
I was cool with him kind of having his own standalone thing with the occasional Bat family member joining. an issue or two, you know what I'm saying? But now you're bringing the Titans back in. And I know why they're doing this, because that the new Titans book just dropped. So they're trying to, like gain interest in it and stuff like that. And what better way to do it than dropping them all in on some sort of an adventure on an already established book? I get it. The execution sucked. It didn't cut it for me. So
Man, they lost me at Nightwing. So
yeah, definitely wasn't one of your favorite characters of all time. So
nah, homeboy just jump ship. I'm loyal.
um speaking of books that are possibly going to be losing the both of us in the very near future, man.
Yeah, I don't
uh
know what's going on here, man.
Vanish. We're up
Yeah.
to issue number 7. I don't know, man, like this last issue, that they did something 2 issues ago where they had him in the insane asylum and you weren't sure what was real and what was fake, and
Mhm.
you kind of get to the end of it and he's like, yo, you basically fell for the oldest trick in the book. We're going to show you everything that you want and get you basically caught up in a dream world. And he forgot all about the fact that he was on his way to his house to save Eleanor and everything along those lines. The last issue opens up, man. It kind of introduces us to a little bit more of the brood that Vanish had under, like, what is it, the Prestige? I think is
Mhm.
what they call it. You know what I'm saying?
Worldwide.
And it basically opens up with the character named Diabolus, and he's sitting at a table, and he's like, I can feel him coming back. We get a flashback, um, and he basically tells this unnamed individual that he's going to unleash all of her powers. Flash forward a little bit, man. You see Ollie going to the house, man, to try and save Eleanor. He gets to the house. The house is basically in shambles. He goes downstairs
Mhm.
into the basement, and she's got, you know what I'm saying, this battle rocket dude basically held captive. This issue really kind of, it explored their relationship, you know what I'm saying, a little bit.
But
But the
not
big
really. Like it's a split second. Like,
yeah, it's like this.
yeah, like there's nothing that was developed there. I mean, I don't know, man. Like this is typical Kate stuff, was what I'm learning now, man. Like it'll start kind of, where it'll spark your curiosity, and then it'll go way left, and then it'll lose you. And then the whole time you're wondering why the freak you started reading in the first place. So I'll be glad to see this one over with. Like I'm not getting much out of it. I'm not trying to be funny. Okay, I don't want to read this anymore.
Yeah, and the other thing is, man, like one of the big draws to the book was the fact that Stegman was doing the artwork, and he didn't do the artwork on the last issue. He's not
And it's
doing the
not bad.
artwork on this one. It's not that it's bad, but his interpretation of those characters, because him and Kate's kind of came together and came up with this idea. So, like, I don't know, man. I mean, the big reveal in this one, man, spoiler alert, we find out that Ollie actually missed when he shot the bullet, and that Eleanor actually redirected the daggone bullet. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of it, we find out that Eleanor is actually pregnant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like every time I'm like, yo, what in the hell did you just have me read? Then some other stuff happens, and I'm like, all right, I got to see what, where we're
Yeah, you
gonna
got to
go
finish it
next.
out.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I'm
So
hoping to finish it out soon. So hurry it up.
yeah, hurry it up. All right, so this next one, man, that we're going to talk about is actually one that I'm reading. You are reading something in this universe, but you're not actually reading this particular title. And that's Static Shadows of Dakota #4. The crazy part about it is that this last issue, man, was a Static comic, and Static never actually showed up in it. You know what I'm saying? Virgil showed up at one point in time, but it is the story basically of so there's 3 people from the syndicate, from the blood syndicate, that actually wound up coming in at the very beginning. They fight, this the master of shadows. I think he pronounced his name Ebon or something along those lines. And these dudes, man, I think it was Tech Nine, Wise Son, and Fade, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. They didn't stand a chance, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, old boy just pulls out his daggone guns and Ebron's like, yo, thanks for the daggone ammunition, and fires it all back at him. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of took a horror turn in this particular issue and from the last one. And if they continue down that path, it's going to kind of take the focus away from the whole bang baby things that they have going on, and them getting kidnapped and all that kind of stuff. So but there's been one character that has been like in a lot of the issues, man. It's this kid named Quincy, and he's basically Virgil's mentee, and he reconnects with his parents in this specific issue. And at the very end of it, some dude named Theo shows up and he's like, I saw your presentation. I really liked it. This, that, and the third. And he's like, all right, man, nice talking to you. I got to get back. You know what I'm saying? Before I'm too late. And there was a flashback in the issue where Theo's sitting in a daggone hospital room. There's somebody laying out in a daggone bed. They do a really good job with the artwork, you know what I'm saying, of beep, beep,
Mm-hmm.
beep, 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 and then flatline and everything along those lines. And it shows a quick flashback where I guess that him and the person in the bed were in a car, and there was a car accident, and there's some sort of a villain standing kind of over top of him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who the character is,
Mm-hmm.
but he's kind of, moving in the direction, I guess, of sliding into the actual comic itself. So the biggest thing with this one, man, like I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. What really brings me back to this comic every single time is the artwork. It literally looks like they drew a anime for TV and said, you know what, that looks like a cartoon page, and kind of pulled it out and dropped it down into print. So the artwork to me has been the best part of the current run. I really liked season 1 of Static, but season two's kind of been it's been a little bit slow to start off with. Not gonna lie to you about that,
DC,
but
man, I'm telling you, man.
well, I mean, not trying to be funny, but you're a big Blood Syndicate guy. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen any sort of a drop off in Blood Syndicate?
I need to get caught up, to be honest with you. So Blood
Okay.
Syndicate was definitely one of those. It was a nostalgia pick. Like I remember that comic book coming out back in the day. I like your cup too. It's pretty dope.
Yes, sir.
Um, so
Shout out to Royce.
superhero. Yes, yeah. Shout out to my man Royce, AK Mixed, with the dope cups. Y'all order one from my man so we can get paid. Or he can
Cold
get
Shed
paid.
Customs.
Yeah. Cold shed. But yeah, it was just cool back in the day to just see superheroes like from around the way type of deal. Like not just a bunch of costumes, but like us cats. So when I saw it come back out, I was like, yeah, I had to get it. And it's cool, dude comes back from the army or military or whatever. He's doing something. So he's getting reacclimated to just being back in the neighborhood. So I got to get caught up to really give you a full synopsis of it. But I like
Mhm.
it just for historic value. But it's not like, groundbreaking. Oh my God, it's the greatest story. Like I'd rather read freaking Quested or some shit. But um, no, it's cool, man. So I never got into Static. Only reason I was gonna get it was because I knew the show was coming out, and then you got to get your number ones. But if you didn't get the original number one, it's like whatever.
Yeah, and see, like that's the reason why I jumped on it, because while I did not read a whole lot of comic books growing up, Static was one that I did jump on. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I just never forget, man. I mean, I rode my bike over to Trilogy to go pick up some daggone baseball cards, and the guy was like, "Hey, man, there's a new comic that just dropped. You know what I'm saying? You want to check it out?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And you got this dude with a Malcolm X hat on and all this other
Yeah,
kind of stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "All right, yeah, I'll check it out." So I read some of them, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't tell you where any of them are right now. You know what I'm saying? My parents probably threw them away just like everything else. But yeah, man, like again, man, like when I first saw that, the season 1 was coming out, I was like, yeah, I'll pick it up. It's that nostalgia thing, man. They pulled me right back in, and you know, the artwork in season 1 and season 2, man, it just jumps off the page, dude. Like it really genuinely does. Um, and that, as somebody who enjoys art sometimes before the story, that's one of the reasons why I just kept picking it up, man, because I was just like, yo, the artwork is just so freaking good, man. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I dig it.
yeah, that was really kind of one of those things. So something that we're gonna kind of do here now, I guess going forward, is just like some dope covers. We were talking about the something epic covers that dropped, it's like a week or so ago. And whenever our boy has one that actually drops, man, I mean, I gotta put it up there, man. And to be
Word.
honest with you, man, I that Scotty Hollow's Eve joint, man, Ren, that's a dope cover, man. Like that's the Scotty stuff, man, that like who you and I are like, that when that actually winds up probably being graded, that's probably going to be one that's going to, be on a lot of people's lists. But the other one is the new Quested number 6. That is an homage to the Hellboy cover. And I don't know, man, like that's just That's like if they really drew this comic to not be, I guess you could say, comical, that's probably what it would look like. You know what I'm saying? And I think I would still be on board.
I got all the Zelda covers, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and we're coming up at the end of it, man. You know, like there's a few of them that are getting ready to drop from that quested. And like I said, this being the last issue for this specific run, if you would, um, we'll see kind of what's down the line, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that Whatnot has really done a good job of finding a niche. Because there's a Legends, I think it's the Legends of Grimoire or something along those lines. It's dropping in a few weeks, man. And what cover could they possibly have? It's a golden eye joint.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah, that
yo,
joint is
for
tough.
real? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that
So
joint is tough.
they've done a good job, man. Like they had a they've got something that's out right now. It's called Liquid Kill, and it kind of reminds me of an anime version of almost like it's drawn almost similar to like what Metal Gear Solid looks like. You know what I'm saying? And they actually had a Metal Gear cover. You know what I'm saying, for like one of the first two issues. So that was
Yeah,
pretty
they're
dope,
doing it
man.
right.
Yeah, like I said, they definitely found a niche. They found something that's working. Um, and because of that, you're starting to see other companies starting to like try and jump in and kind of do the same thing. So,
Ain't nothing like the original though. They all just
nah.
gonna be facsimiles of their ideas. So whatever. We all can't be original.
Nah. Why? When you can jump on the coattails of something that you know is already working.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. So that is going to do it for this episode of the Comic Review, man. As always, we want to thank y'all for joining us. I am E. That is Ren. Y'all know the deal, man. Subscribe, like, hit the buttons. You should be already on everything as it is. But if you're new to the channel, man, follow us at the Homie Trinity Podcast. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube. So go ahead and mash everything down there at the bottom. We are on Apple Podcasts. And we're just here, man. You know, like I was saying, the favorite neighborhood homies, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
you already
what else
know.
do you want, man? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
you already
saying?
know.
So don't be late to the party, man. Tell everybody that you know. And we'll holler at y'all next time, man. Peace.
Peace.